Hi, welcome to Let's Talk Gardening. I'm Norma Samuel, Florida Friendly Landscaping and Urban Horticulture Agent with the University of Florida Institute of Food and Agriculture Sciences, UF-IFAS Extension in Sumter County. On today's episode, I'll be talking to you all about the Florida Friendly Landscaping Program. And this is a statewide program in Florida brought to you by the University of Florida IFAS Extension and the Florida Department of Environmental Protection. I know we have viewers from all over the world, and even though the name implies that this is a Florida program, I want you to know that this program, the principles are applicable to you wherever you are. So if you're growing ornamentals, you're taking care of your turf, or you're growing a vegetable garden, you'll find these principles very applicable to your situation wherever you are. So the Florida Friendly Landscaping Program, its mission is to educate Floridians about science-based, environmentally friendly landscaping practices and encouraging residents to conserve and protect our water and natural resources. It is an integrated approach to maintaining an attractive, colorful, and diverse yard that is friendly to wildlife, and it's less work than the traditional landscape. So the goals are to conserve water and to protect water quality. Thus, it's important for us to think of our landscape as part of the larger system. And whatever we do in our yard will have an effect on the ecosystem. The legal definition for Florida-friendly landscaping is that it's a quality landscape that conserves water, protect the environment, and is adaptable to local conditions and are drought tolerant. There are 9 Florida-friendly landscaping principles, and I'll go through each of them with you briefly. The first one is right plant, right place. Number 2, water efficiently. Number 3, fertilize appropriately. Number 4, mulch. Number 5, attract wildlife. Number 6, manage yard pests. Number 7, recycle. Number 8, reduce stormwater runoff. And number 9, protect the waterfront. So this collection of practices involve design, installation, operation, and maintenance, which are intended to reduce irrigation water use, protect water quality from overuse of fertilizer and pesticides, and reduce stormwater runoff. A recent study done by the University of Florida shows that approximately 60% of homeowner water use in Florida is for lawn and landscape irrigation. And what we do in our landscape can have an impact on our waterways. And here you see a picture of the St. Johns River from 2005. And this is pollution that's as a result of fertilizers and pesticides, car grease, and other pollutants that have built up over time and cause a buildup of algal blooms in our waterways. And as a result, you see the impact that we can have. So again, it's important for you to think of your landscape as part of a larger system, and what you do in your landscape, even though you don't live on a water body, can have an impact on the waterways in your area. So the first principle, right plant, right place. This is the cornerstone of the Florida Friendly Landscaping Program, and we call it FFL for short. And plants selected for the site should be specific for that particular site. So you're selecting plants that have minimal require minimal amounts of water, fertilizer, pesticides, and maintenance. And once you select the right plant and you locate it in the area that's appropriate for that plant, then all the other principles should fall into place easily. You shouldn't have to apply too much water. You're applying less fertilizer, less pesticides. So the right plant, right place principle is the cornerstone of the program. With right plant, right place, we recommend you select low maintenance plant. Choose a diversity of plants. So instead of selecting one variety or one type of plant and planting it throughout your landscape, think about, you know, bringing in a diversity of plant. And that way, if, for example, you have a disease affecting a particular species of plant, it wouldn't affect everything because you don't have a monoculture. Consider the mature size of the plant. Think about what that plant would look like in 5, 10 years, not just what the size of it is now, and space your plants accordingly to avoid overcrowding. Group your plants according to their water needs. So don't group a plant that likes plants that like a lot of water with those that like little water. Somebody's gonna be happy and someone's not gonna be happy. And make your turf grass area functional. So we're not saying in Florida-friendly landscaping to get rid of turf. Turf has a lot of benefits, but make its use functional within your landscape. The next principle is water efficiently. And efficient watering is key to a healthy landscape and to reduce runoff. And as I said before, 60% of residential water use go to irrigation systems. Thus, we can select plants and adapt practices in our landscape that's going to help us reduce that amount of water we're using in our landscape, and that would ultimately save you money. Fertilize appropriately, and in real estate they say location, 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 and in Florida-friendly landscaping we say soil test, soil test, soil test. And your soil test will give you information on the pH, how acid or alkaline the soil is, and what nutrients are in the soil. And this way, when you're applying fertilizer according to soil test results, you're gonna be applying what the plant needs and in the amounts at the time of year that is recommended by your soil tests. Apply fertilizer only when your grass is actively growing, and use a broadcast spreader with a deflector shield. If you spill fertilizer on your lawn, sweep it up. Never fertilize before heavy rain. Yes, your fertilizer may need to be watered in, but it's best for you to water in with the amount of water needed yourself than to expect rain to water it in. And it may be a heavy rain that may just wash that fertilizer off the landscape or leach it down into our water, into our aquifer. Never fertilize within 10 feet of any water body. And, you know, we can have negative impacts of over fertilizing. You can burn your plant. You know, as I said before, the unused fertilizer can get in our water bodies. Mulch. Mulch helps to buffer soil temperature. It inhibits weeds, protects plants from mechanical damage. It protects your plants from diseases, add nutrients to the soil, and beautifies landscape. So if you're not practicing mulching, I highly recommend that you begin to mulch because there are lots of benefits to mulching. The next principle is to attract wildlife. And it's important that, especially for us who live in urban areas, that we create habitats that will attract wildlife, develop areas that can have an impact on the environment. So local plant and animal communities are affected by development. So with us putting in plants that, attract butterflies and bees and birds will be very helpful. We should manage yard pests responsibly. So that is the next principle, and set realistic goals. If you set a goal that you don't want to see any insects in your yard or any weeds, it means that you're going to be constantly applying pesticides. So be realistic. It's okay if you have a few weeds. It's okay to go out and hand pull weeds. So be realistic with your expectations. And we highly recommend the use of integrated pest management. And that's where you're using multiple strategies to control a pest, and your cultural practices are what's going to be most important. And those are your watering habits, your sanitation, things like that are going to be important. If you have to use a pesticide, we recommend that you use the least toxic option first. Recycle yard waste. The yard waste that you generate, they retain nutrients, and so find ways to utilize that yard waste on your landscape. It will save you money on fertilizer, mulch, and waste disposal. And Florida law prohibits disposal of yard waste in lined landfills. Stormwater runoff. And the definition is the excess water from irrigation, rain, and other sources that are being washed off your landscape and into our waterways. So rain, along with that water, you have fertilizer, pesticides, and other pollutants that are being washed into our waterways. And this is referred to as non-point source pollution. And this is a threat to Florida water quality. Try as much as possible to maintain the water on your landscape. So every one of us live in a watershed, and a watershed is an area of land that all the water from that area drains into one place. And wherever you are part of a watershed. So whatever you do in your yard, you can have a negative impact on our waterways if it's not done correctly. The last principle is protect the waterfront, and no one in Florida lives more than 60 miles from the ocean. So know your watershed. Establish a 10 to 20 foot buffer between your landscape and the shoreline, and that will help to protect the waterfront from runoff. Plant a border of low maintenance plants between your lawn and shoreline or seawall. Now, I've run through this overview of Florida-friendly landscaping, very quickly. All the extension offices across the state of Florida offer in-depth classes on the Florida-friendly landscaping program, and we go into a lot of depth on each of the 9 principles. And do follow your local extension office Facebook page or see what they have on their calendars, and take part in the Florida Friendly Landscaping and other classes that we offer, especially if you're new to Florida and you're trying to find out how you can garden in Florida, because gardening in Florida is different from a lot of places. There are lots of different resources on the Florida Friendly Landscaping website, and the website is ffl.ifas.ufl.edu. If you after you review the website and you have any questions, you can ask your questions there and they will forward it to the agent in the area in which you reside. Thank you very much for joining me today for Let's Talk Gardening. I'm Norma Samuel, and have a wonderful day.